Are you considering a Roth conversion? Well, which approach are you going to take? Consider a laddered Roth conversion as well. I'll explain that strategy and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. The Roth conversion is a strategy where you are intentionally paying taxes today so that you avoid paying taxes on those dollars ever again into the future, both you and your beneficiaries, whoever receive those dollars. So it's a way of taking pre-tax dollars, maybe from an IRA or your traditional IRA, traditional 401k, and moving them to the Roth 401k or to your Roth IRA. This is a taxable event, but even though you're paying the taxes in the year that you do the conversion, again, those dollars are now positioned in the Roth side of your 401k or in your Roth IRA, and they grow tax sheltered and tax-free forever. On your IRA contributions, traditional IRA or your pre-tax 401k contributions, you avoided the tax on the way in. You got a tax deduction in the year that you contributed, and then all the activity within that account was sheltered. But then when you withdraw those dollars from that traditional IRA or your pre-tax 401k, that's when they're taxable at ordinary income tax rate. So you win there when you're in a high tax bracket today and a low tax bracket when you withdraw the dollars. A Roth 401k or Roth IRA is the exact opposite. You don't get a tax benefit in your contributions, for your contributions. Those dollars are after tax, but then all the activity, investment, growth, and dividends, capital gains, all of that is sheltered from tax. And then as long as you meet the 5-year rule, done a lot of content on that, but as long as you meet the 5-year rule and are over age 59 and a half, then all of the growth on those dollars come out tax-free. So a Roth conversion is a strategy, a maneuver where you transfer dollars from your pre-tax side, your traditional IRA, pre-tax 401k, over to the Roth. Like I said, it's taxable in that year, but then the dollars are now positioned in the Roth and can grow tax-free from that point forward. So here's a scenario. Heard this the other day. I've got an account with $100,000 in it. It's a traditional IRA from an old retirement account. I'd like to convert that over to my Roth IRA. Well, traditionally, the traditional approach, and this is what this individual was thinking, is doing a Roth conversion of $100,000, all immediate, all at once. Now, the benefits to this are clear, and that's, again, this is how most people approach it, that, well, I will make this conversion all in 1 year, all at one time, and then that $100,000 or the amount is now sheltered, it's now in the Roth IRA and can grow tax-free from that point forward. So the benefit is that you rip the Band-Aid off, all those dollars are now able to grow tax-free. But the disadvantages are clear as well, and that is, especially in an amount of doing a Roth conversion of $100,000 or more, it's definitely going to push you into a higher tax bracket. And that could dilute the benefits of doing a Roth conversion altogether. And then on top of that, you've got to come up with all of that tax all at once, right? It's taxed in that year, and that also is going to require some fancy footwork with cash flow, and it might even cause you to, well, I'm going to withhold then on this Roth conversion because I can't come up with the cash to pay the taxes another way, and that also could dilute the benefits of the Roth conversion. So doing a Roth conversion all at once has some clear upside, but there's some disadvantages as well. A different approach is doing a laddered Roth conversion. So instead of making one big leap, instead you lay out different rungs and you make smaller sort of bite-sized pieces or steps along the way. So instead of doing a full Roth conversion of $100,000, say, in 1 year, you break that up and maybe do a $20,000 Roth conversion each year for the next 5. Or maybe a $10,000 Roth conversion each year over the next 10. And the pros and cons or advantages, disadvantages are the exact inverse, right? The disadvantage is clear in that you still have dollars that are growing tax sheltered and tax deferred in the pre-tax account for a longer period of time. You have fewer dollars landing in the Roth all at once, growing tax free. It takes a little bit more time to do. However, the advantages are just the opposite of those disadvantages from the previous scenario. One, doing a conversion of 10 grand or 20 grand likely won't or may not push you into the higher tax bracket, to that next tax bracket, making the math and the justification, the benefit of doing the Roth conversion that much better, right? That it hasn't pushed you into a higher tax bracket that you would have otherwise avoided. But then second, because it's more palatable, it's in bite-sized pieces, the actual tax, because again, this Roth conversion, transferring dollars from a pre-tax side or a pre-tax IRA over to the Roth, that's taxable, whichever amount, whatever the amount is. You might be able to come up with those taxes either just from your withholdings or from your normal pay, or maybe pay the taxes out of pocket, meaning more dollars landed in your Roth that can grow tax-free for your future. Here's a common scenario that we use this laddered Roth conversion approach for with our clients, and that is early in retirement, forecasting out what life will look like or taxes will look like out there when they're in their 70s and are required to take a minimum amount out of their IRA, these RMDs. Well, if we don't do anything, what tax bracket would you be in out there? And if they're in a lower tax bracket today, say out there, once they're required to start taking their minimum distribution, they're going to be in the 22% tax bracket, or maybe 25 if the tax rules sunset. But today they're in the 12. Then we take a look and we do a Roth conversion up to the top of the 12% tax bracket each year. And that might mean, well, we're only doing a $15,000 Roth conversion each year, but doing that for, say, the next 7 years or something like that until age 73, when they're required to start taking that RMD, that can actually transition a lot of dollars from the pre-tax side over to the Roth side, where you volunteered to pay tax on those dollars at 12% in order for them to grow tax-free forever. That does a couple of things. Like I said, it gets those dollars over to the Roth side so they can grow tax-free for the rest of your life. Second, it's done so where it's not going to push you into that next tax bracket. You're staying at the 12% tax bracket. And third, you can often do this where the taxes are very manageable. You can cover those taxes with cash out of pocket, or maybe from other withholdings on your Social Security or other IRA withdrawals. And so, and then finally, the other benefit is now when you get to age 73, you have fewer dollars that are in the pre-tax side of your retirement accounts, and your RMD, your required minimum distribution, would be lower since there's no RMD on the Roth IRA. That could, in a way, keep you in that 12% tax bracket or that second tier tax bracket instead of pushing you into the 22% tax bracket. So both approaches can work. Both approaches can work. There are pros and cons of each, but just be aware of this Roth conversion ladder, that approach, as opposed to just thinking anytime it makes sense to do a Roth conversion, I've just got to rip the Band-Aid off and deal with the consequences. All of this is going to be broken down for you within tax planning, part of your comprehensive financial plan. So work with your certified financial planner on that. Lay out a strategy so that you've got the proper tax diversification, dollars growing pre-tax, dollars growing in the Roth, and determining the right times and amounts to do for Roth conversions. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.